because I'm really excited about 2B Mindset. I love the program. I couldn't be more thrilled to be sharing it with people. I couldn't be more excited about the results they are getting. And I'm just really honored to be a part of their results because it just feels so good. So one of the things that I have found over the last month is I've been getting a lot of people asking me, how am I helping their customers? Because I just kind of want to get some feedback from you guys too. And I'm just going to open my chat bar as well so that I can see it. How is your 2B experience going so far? Like, how would you say that your challenge groups are going? How are you doing personally with it? Are you finding that it's different than the way that you ran maybe 21-day fix groups? Are you finding that it's similar? Are you finding, maybe not necessarily that much of an adjustment? Like give some feedback as to how you're feeling. Are you feeling like the videos are great? Are you feeling like your challengers aren't really watching the videos? Is anyone running into that at all? Are you losing weight on it? Like, are you actually like reevaluating how you yourself feel about the scale? How are you feeling? Like, what's the feedback so far on it? Or is it just it's nighttime and we're kind of like, oh, Katie's making me think right now. What do you guys think so far? Okay, cool. Hi, Chris. It is a struggle to help articulate the freedom. Yep, struggling personally. Yep. For those of you who are kind of struggling with it, were you like pretty active and pretty good about containers? Are we seeing a little bit of a change with that? Because I want to address that a little bit. Because I don't have an emotional struggle with food or the scale. Are you starting to relate to your customers who are? Like, are you starting to see how emotions are tied to eating? Like, are they seeing it in their trends at all when they're tracking?
Yeah, they see it for sure. But they saw it with the containers. It's even more prevalent now. And it's really hard for me I've been trying to teach them this for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm trying to do the exact same thing I was doing for 3 years without containers. And I just feel like that makes it even harder because I don't even have the containers that they can tangibly see.
Right.
So emotional.
You have a plate. So, I mean, that is another thing you can really think about is you can have a 7-inch plate. So really actually showing them the visual of what a plate looks like. So I'll kind of get into that on the call as well. And yes, and I really want to go over tonight just the containers and 2B and how it's not really a versus as much as you have 2 amazing options in your catalog. And as coaches, it is our job to understand both of them and to be able to share both of them, or to be able to just know exactly what you want to be able to coach or what you want to do, but still have the product knowledge of both. So we're going to dive into that as well. And the other thing I just want to address is whether we're saying we're not losing weight or we are losing weight, we really have only been doing this for 1 month. So it's still kind of new and we're still in the process of actually learning our own trends in our body. So I would love to see though, if you are losing weight, if you guys could write in the comments just so I have a little gauge, how much have you lost? Like, what have you lost so far? Or if you and your challengers have lost together and you're doing like a cumulative, like how much have you and your challengers lost together? Because I kind of want to like talk through those things as well. So while we're doing that, I'm actually going to screen share with you. I have this PDF, so I am going to share that. I'm 15. That's amazing. That's really cool. Cool. Two. Yay. Very cool. All right. Can you guys give me the heads up if you can see the screen okay? You guys good? Good. Okay, cool. All right. So the purpose of this call is to make you guys just really aware, like self-aware, and make you guys just really excited about helping your challengers get results. And so in order to do that, I'm going to kind of walk you through a 2B experience, what your groups can look like, what's working for me, and just how important it is to have this knowledge so that you can really arm yourself with all of the information that you need so that you are like the best coach for the people that you have onboarded. So we're going to walk through this. We're going to cover a couple of things, and these are just the few things that I want to make you understand that we're covering tonight. Number one, we're just going to talk about 2B Mindset in general as a program. Number two, we're going to talk about your own personal 2B experience and how that is the priority above all other things right now. Number three is using the resources that you have at your disposal, creating content, and then track, and then your slight edge. So what can make you stand out? This isn't really a marketing call. I know tomorrow Rachel Mitchell is going to be on our team call, and she is going to do an amazing job of sharing with us the power of your story. She's going to use Donald Miller's story brand. So she's going to talk more about marketing. But tonight, I really want to make sure that I am helping you guys help your customers. And those are maybe the ones that have already signed up with you. And if you don't have customers yet, that's okay, because we're talking about your personal 2B experience as well. All right. So with that being said, let's kind of dive into just a few of the things that you need to know. So number one, 2B Mindset actually was it kind of came about sort of, it really wasn't meant to be this way. So I guess Carl Deichler had hired Alana as a nutritionist for the company. And she wasn't somebody that they hired to come in and do 2B Mindset. They weren't even really looking very seriously for another nutritional program. They were looking for nutritional consultations. And Carl met Alana, and she explained this philosophy, her belief in 2B Mindset and how it worked, and he loved it. And he was like, this is a great thing to put in the Beachbody On Demand catalog. And so they started working on it. And for the last year, 2 years almost, they have been working on what 2B Mindset would look like, how it would be marketed, just working with the people who have already been in the test groups. And then our wonderful CAB, our coach advisory board, basically said, no, like this cannot be in Beachbody On Demand. This is a separate entity into itself. Like this is something that people would pay for. People have paid hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to work with Alana one-on-one. I think that a private consultation is upward of $500 depending on what the service is that you want. And so the CAB came in and said, we need to make this separate. So that is where we came up with 2B Mindset as the nutritional app, which is on Beachbody On Demand. And as of today, it is also a separated app. So thank you. I don't know about you guys, but I am like pumped that the CAB stepped up and said, no, this is too good. We need to separate it. And the other things I just want to remind you too is that all of the information for 2B Mindset can be found in FAQ 9749. And then if you look on this graphic, you can see if you go into Grow My Business and click on Product Tools, the second icon down is your 2B Mindset Product Toolkit. That is going to have everything that you need to make sure you have everything that your challengers need. I'm sorry, I'm just going to like mute you guys all when you come in. Okay. All right. So what makes it different then? First, just to kind of like backtrack a little bit, we have had the containers for quite some time. They are effective. They work. People have seen amazing, amazing results with the containers. And if it is what works for you, get yourself acclimated with what 2B Mindset is and how it works so that you have something to offer your customers and you have an understanding of both of them. But it is different in a lot of ways. So just to kind of explain this, 2B Mindset is an inside job of weight loss. And I explain it as this is a program that is geared towards people who do actually struggle with portion control, who struggle with emotional eating, who struggle with yo-yo dieting, who struggle with not finishing what they start, who have been up 5 pounds, down 5 pounds, who maybe have a significant amount of weight to lose. Alana also talks about exercise being extra credit. This was very eye-opening for me, and I really want you guys to consider this for a couple of minutes. We work with a company called Beachbody. If you didn't know that company and you struggled with your weight, the word Beachbody can be intimidating. And if you have a significant amount of weight to lose and somebody is coming to you and say, you want a beach body, you a beach body coach, and you know nothing about the company or what they offer, some people just would look at that and say, and my mom is included in that, she would be like, I'm not trying to get a beach body. I'm trying to actually lose weight. And it was intimidating. And so when I think about exercise and when I think about how on social media we can really put ourselves out there as these like gym rats and really love our workouts, sometimes those people who maybe would be interested in reaching out to us look at our workouts and go, oh, she's not my people. But sometimes they are our people. They're just maybe a little intimidated by the workout side of what we do. And so allowing people to see that exercise is great, and I do call it in my own challenge group more than extra credit. I'm like, you should do this because your sanity depends on it. I love the idea that, you know, I just find that this is so simple, that this is so simple for people who need somewhere to start. And it is simple because it is 4 principles. It is 4 principles that we should know inside and out. These are the 4 things that make this easy, that make it different, that make it lasting and sustainable. And that is number 1, we are making sure that we are tracking everything we are eating. Now that we have the app, we can track it on the app, but I have my tracker right here. It's with me. I have it even tabbed so I know exactly what day to turn it to. We are making sure that we are on the scale every day. And you will, if you have not watched Alana's video, she talks about it in great length, and she explains about how your body is going to fluctuate, but over time you're going to start to see the scale move in the direction you want it to. So a little fluctuation is just fine. You pop on that scale, it's used as a tool. And then of course we have our water first, veggies most. And if you're like me, you always have your water bottle getting about 90 to 120 ounces in at least a day. That alone has really changed very much in my own results. But our biggest focus and the things that I am running into with challengers or people that want to work with me, and you guys can comment in the comment section too if you're having these issues as well, is number 1, educating people on the scale and how it is not the enemy. Alana talks a lot about the BMI and how for a long time people were so anti-BMI, the body mass index, and how it was just evil and how you should never like gauge your health by the BMI, but really it is a very big measurement of your overall health. And I didn't understand that until Alana really taught that to me. And then the scale, just educating people on it being one tool. It is not the only tool, but it is one tool that you can use to keep yourself on track. You know, I did Weight Watchers for a long time before I ever touched Beachbody. And I just want to share this little story with you is I remember I would weigh in on Monday afternoons. And so on Sunday, I would eat like nothing. And then on Monday, I would eat nothing. And then Monday evening, right before I stepped on that scale, I would go to the bathroom and I would make sure that my bladder was totally empty, and I would step on that scale. And do you know what I did on Monday night? I would totally eat everything in sight. So it was actually like I was seeing results because I was like so focused on the scale, but it was actually counterproductive to what I wanted to be able to do because I wasn't healthy. I was really eating crap. I was binge eating afterwards. Like, that's not good. So educating people on the scale as being your friend, as being one tool to measure your overall health, and also to keep you on track. You start to make conscious choices when you know you're being accountable to that scale in the morning. The other thing that it is very different and is something that people do have to adjust to is your portion. Julia mentioned at the beginning of the call the plate. A 7-inch plate is great, just starting people. If they're still using the containers to dump it onto their plate, totally fine. But it is something where we have to be very cognizant of understanding that everybody reacts differently to certain foods. You cannot meal plan for other people in this program, which is different, right? You can give suggestions, you can give ideas, you can give recipes, but when it comes to meal planning, it's on them to start tracking the foods that are working for them. another example I have for you. I have been tracking now for over 2 months. And one of the things after the first month that I started to see is on days I would have an afternoon snack that included a healthy fat, I was losing weight. And I started to see, I have no idea what this drawing tool is. I'm not even touching anything. I don't know. But I started to see over time that that tracking that I was doing, I was losing weight on days I was having more healthy fat. And when you start to see those things, when you start to actually notice those things, that is when you're like, okay, I know exactly what I need to do to make this a weight loss day. And then lastly is making sure that our biggest focus is on getting our customers results. So making sure that we are focused on helping them achieve their results, which means that we're helping them find their trends. We're aware of what their trackers say. We know exactly what their struggles are, and we're helping them troubleshoot. Does anyone know why it's writing?
Katie, if you hit screen share, somebody is trying to using the drawing tool.
Somebody is?
Yeah, somebody on here is somehow doing the drawing tool. I don't know how it happens.
Well, stop using the drawing tool.
That's the only way I know how to get rid of it is to unshare and reshare.
Okay. Well, how? I don't know how somebody's like,
I don't know.
Now you're all going to mess with me. You're going to put like happy faces all over me.
It happens. It happens to me too. People mess with me.
Sorry. All right. I'm going to try this again. All right. So next thing I want to talk to you guys about is your to-be experience, because that's even more important than your customer experience. When we were in the test group, it was really funny because Alana she was so kind, but she would get really frustrated because all the coaches were asking like marketing questions. And they would be like, well, how should we say this on social media? And Alana would be like, you guys, I love you so much. You know, she says that, like, I love you so much. But I'm not really concerned about your marketing, and I'm not really concerned about your sales. I'm actually really concerned about you getting results. And I think that's how we have to kind of look at it right now. Is your results, your focus. This is your to-be experience. This is your personal experience with a new program that can be a game changer for you. It can be a game changer for people around you. And here's what I find, even if you aren't intentionally selling it to people, like you're not like racking your brain, like, how should I market this? What should I say about it? Your energy becomes really, really contagious, right? And I can say that the sales that I've had for To-Be Mindset and my launch was because I was legit pumped about this program. And I have had to stop myself a couple of times with onboarding people because I really want to make sure that I'm getting people the best results that I can possibly give them. So in my opinion, embracing this as a challenger is more important than embracing it as a coach. So you as Julia or Amy or Brooke or Melanie, you have to actually experience it for yourself. And so that is it, embracing those 4 principles. You cannot coach this if you're not going to track it yourself. You cannot talk about how important it is to get on the scale every day if your butt isn't on the scale every day. You cannot be like, water first, and then be like, oh crap, I haven't drank water all day today. Or like, veggies most, and then you're like, I'm just going to eat these Oreos instead. You'd be like a poopy coach if you did that. You have to embrace the principles yourself. And then this is where it's so fun. This is where I like love this part of it. Is you've got to get curious. And I say this to my challengers all the time, like when they're like, oh, I feel like I'm at a plateau, or I'm like, oh, like this stinks. I'm like, dude, do not get mad. Get really, really curious. Like ask yourself, why isn't this working? And then you go back to your tracker and you can look in your tracker and be like, I see why it's not working. I clearly didn't eat enough today. Or, oh, you know what? I started to notice that the Eggo waffle that I was having every morning, I wasn't measuring my peanut butter on there. You can ask yourself serious questions about what's working, what's not working, getting really curious about it so that you have experience to speak from. The more experience that you build up for yourself, the easier it is and the more fun it is to coach. And the best part is when somebody starts to say they're at a plateau, I'm like, well, why are you at a plateau? Tell me about that. So I'm not trying to troubleshoot it for them. I'm like, dude, you go troubleshoot it. I'm just here to remind you to troubleshoot it because you're not doing something that you should be doing. And they're like, oh, you know what, Katie? I had 3 margaritas last night. Duh, that's why I didn't lose weight. Not that you can't have the margarita, guys. You can have the margarita, but you can't be in it. So allowing your customers to get really, really curious about why they are like actually seeing results or why they're not. And the best part is, when they start to see those trends, they start to help each other get really curious, and they start to call each other out, and they start to see it. Number 3, though, with your 2B experience, just start sharing it. Share little pieces of it. One thing that I actually like started to say to my coaches is start sharing your shift. Like, take a picture of where you were on day 1, and then Monday the next week, take another picture in the same outfit. And then Monday the next week, take a picture of yourself again. So people are actually seeing your transformation before their eyes because you're a product of the product. And then the other thing that I want to share is your Shakeology. When are you taking it? Be consistent with it. For me, I take it every morning. I've become very consistent with it. This is going to be one of the biggest things you can do, especially from a retention standpoint, is be consistent with the time that you're taking it. You are maybe going from your containers, which you ate 5 or 6 meals a day, to actually drinking Shakeology in one of your 3 or 4 meals a day. So when you teach your challengers and you yourself are taking it at a consistent time, that builds into your 2B experience. That becomes something easy that you can talk about. And then lastly, within your challenge group too, I'm active as a participant as much as I am a coach. So if you're playing the role of coach right now, go in and play the role of challenger too. Go in and track what you're doing. Go in and show your people your tracker. Go in and tell them about how bad you screwed up, and that, or what you noticed, a trend that you noticed in your own eating, or what you noticed like when you stepped on the scale when you weren't expecting to lose. The more you are active as a participant, the more your people will be active too. When they see you not just as the hero, like the one trying to coach them through, but sort of more of a guide who's also on the journey too. So that's just one other thing that I wanted to mention. You can't successfully coach this if you aren't going to be doing this. We're just going to like throw in the towel, just say 2B isn't for me if you're not going to do it yourself. A couple of resources that I really want to point out to you. The Team Beachbody blog has some really good recipes. It has some really good articles. Alana herself has written a number of articles for like Pop Sugar. If you actually go onto her timeline on Facebook, you can find a number of the articles she's had published before. The videos, huge, 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 huge. When somebody says to me, is this an FFC? Or if somebody says to me, you know, what can you do with spaghetti squash? Or if somebody says to me, I'm going out, or I'm going to a wedding, what should I do? Video, video, video. And here's the kicker. A lot of people are like my 7th grade reading students, where they would be like, I'm totally reading the assignment, Miss Ursa. And then I would be like, okay, well, tell me what happened in chapter 5. And they're like, I don't know where my clip notes are. So you guys, you have to remind people to go back to the videos and watch them. And I don't watch them once. If you watch them once, no. Like, that's not going to fly. I've watched them like 3 or 4 times as I've needed them as a challenger myself. The one about emotional eating, I think I could actually talk to Alana and have a conversation, and I feel like she would talk back to me. So you have to remember that the videos are great resources, but they are the nutritionists. Like, your videos are the nutritionists. You aren't the nutritionist. You are just the coach reminding people of why they started. I also follow Alana on IG. Her images are great. She works with Amanda Meow, I think is her name. I might have this wrong, who is one of the nutritionists that works for Beachbody too. So she's actually, you can see her in the coach group, in Alana's coach group, but she has an awesome, awesome resource on IG too, and I always refer people back to it. The Coach Online Office, as I said, and the big one that I want to share is be a challenger in the Facebook coach group. So if you're in Alana's group, and if you're not, you should be. This isn't like that really big 80-day obsession that felt like it was out of control. Alana goes live about 2 times a week, and she gives excellent, excellent advice. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take Alana, and this is Kim Fitzpatrick actually shared this with me. If you hold up your phone to the computer while Alana's talking, you can actually like go live in your group and actually share what Alana is saying with your Facebook group, if that makes sense. So that's another thing. And the other thing that I do is when I know that Alana is going to go live, or if I can't get on live, I actually will schedule time out. I still do this. Like, I know what she's going to say, but I still find it so important to schedule that time out so I learn from her. Because I feel like when I'm learning from her, I'm a better coach and I'm getting better results because I'm taking what she's saying for my personal experience too. But I feel like it's my job. Like I'm a student of what Alana is teaching. And I love that part of it. I love it so much. Like it makes me so excited when Alana goes live and I'm like, everybody stop what you're doing in this household because Alana has something to say. And basically, did you guys see the video where she was in her glasses? She was all kinds of pregnant and then she had that baby like 2 minutes later. Not really 2 minutes, but like 5 minutes later. And so like, I just like listen to what she has to say. And I'm like, I can coach this. I need to share this with them. This is perfect. I take notes. I learn from it. And that's what's making the challengers like, okay, I get this. I get this. I got this. All right. So the biggest message that I'm getting is like, but this feels weird, right? So how many of you feel like it is different than coaching 21 Day Fix? Is anyone feeling like that? How many of us coached 21 Day Fix for like 2 years or 3 years, right? So we like had that down pat. We knew those containers inside and out, and we never used them for our kids' Legos or like shampoo or like travel bottles, or we never did that or anything. But when people tell me this feels weird, I think to myself, my middle school social studies teacher who randomly I had in 6th grade, I had in 7th grade, and I had again in 9th grade. And I had that same curriculum in 6th grade, in 7th grade, and in 9th grade. And they also involved a number of John Wayne films, which we still don't know what that had to do with social studies. But my point is this. If you aren't spicing it up, it's not going to be funky and fresh, okay? It's just going to be funk. So you guys have to remember that if you're trying to implement this program with what you were doing with 21 Day Fix, it's kind of lame. And I don't mean that mean, but I mean it as if you are getting fresh with this program, if you're learning it, you should be like live in there, excited about it, hearing what they're saying, and it's gonna feel weird because it used to be just, here's my post for the day. Everybody share your results for the day. How fun is this? Post, schedule, done, schedule, done, schedule. It's not a check off the box kind of group. It is an I am in your face because you invested in me. Like you bought a challenge pack from me, so I don't know if I told you this, but now you be like totally stuck with me. So you guys have to understand that this is not a just check it off the box. My people, Katie, they're struggling a little bit. Well, what is their struggle? Did you get up in their face? Did you say to them like, hey, did you go back to the tracker? So what's your tracker saying? What you curious about? I saw you're getting kind of angry. I saw that little emoji that you put in there. Tell me about that emoji. What you curious about? It's going to feel weird because it's so freaking fun. And I'm not saying that the other groups weren't fun, but it's fun because it's new, right? It's like when you date that guy for the first time, you meet him and you're like, you're so fun. I just love you so much, right? And how do you keep it saucy? Like, how do you keep it exciting? Ask Michael Steven Ersta. He is the most satisfied married man in the world. I am totally kidding about that part. But what I'm saying is your job is that it feels weird all the time because you're excited about it, because you love it, because you genuinely want to help people. All right? Melanie's like, I don't even know what to say with you right now. All right. Okay, here's how I set up my groups. I'm going to tell you, I'm still learning from this. I'm not sold on units yet. I like them, but they're not working yet how I want them to. So I'm still kind of tweaking this, right? I'm just getting curious about what's working and what isn't. So Alana doesn't call them challenge groups. She calls them success groups. It doesn't really matter what you call it what you're comfortable with, but set up your community. You can either do it on the tracker or you can do it in Facebook. I run my groups on Facebook. I prefer Facebook. That's just kind of what works for me. Number two, I set it up as a unit and they go into the group. And when you set up that unit and they go into the group, they can actually be, I think it's like, when you open it up, it goes right to the unit. So it's like today's post. So they'll see today's post instead of discussion. So it goes unit, and then they have to click a separate tab to actually go to the discussion. That is how I've set it up, and I like it. But what I now realize is I don't like my preseason being in there, because I want to make sure that they're like understanding what's going on, and I don't want them to get lost in everything else. So I've decided to do my preseason in a totally different group and then add them later into the units. So what I find is that I have a lot of people engaging in different posts at any given time. So it is going to take some tweaking. I don't know if that's what's going to work for you or if it's not going to work for you. That's what I'm using right now. But I'm like I said, I'm still kind of like not 100% sold on it. But my preseason is going into a different group. So in that preseason, I will go over all of the content that Alana provides, and then I also have for them some of my own resources that I give, specifically about self-care, the things that I talk about. But a couple of things that I do in there: daily tracking. I use a JPEG, just an image, but I actually had someone suggest you do polls. So like if you could create a poll, and the poll says like, was today a weight loss day? You know, did you exercise for extra credit? And people love those polls, so that might work really well too. So we track, we can share our trackers. I actually share trackers more in private messages. Somebody told me today that the app does not have the poop emoji. So I'm not really sold on that right now, because everyone loves the poop emoji. So the daily tracking, though, you could do either way. My people love the Friday shout out. Our group just hit the 300-pound mark in the first month. We were pumped about it. The people are just tracking their weight loss, and they feel like they're doing it as a culture, like as a community. And 3 to 5 times a week, I go live, and I don't do it by script. And a lot of times what I go live on are the things that I'm having private conversations about. And when I say I'm having private conversations, I mean, like, I'm literally having private conversations with a lot of my challengers on a daily basis. It's a lot, but I really want to make sure they're having a good experience. But the more that they're telling me, the more I'm learning from them. So for example, one girl today, I never even thought about this, was talking about self-sabotage. She was like, I don't know what is wrong with me. I got through the first week. I loved it. And then the weekend came and I totally self-sabotaged. And I was like, oh my God, I do that all the time. How could I not even talk about this? So I went to the videos. I just didn't think she gave enough information about self-sabotage. And so I went to my personal development. And you know what I did? I sat down and I wrote down some notes about self-sabotage. And then I went live. And then I had more people private message me and write in the group, yep, this is me. Yep, this is what I did after the weekend. Yep. And I was like, just one conversation changed the outlook and made people, reminded them, okay, she did it too. She got on from it. It was no big deal. She moved on. All is well. So having conversations with your people, even from the standpoint of, look, this is the first time that I am coaching this. Can you give me some feedback so I can be better, so I can better serve you? And when they feel like they're helping you out, they're more receptive to give you what's really happening, right? Does that make sense? So be open to that, right? And then the other thing that I did this week too, and I'm the only one who can post in my group just because it's really big, but sometimes I'll make a challenger an admin, and I'll allow them to go live. So I had one of my girls go live, and she talked about water, like how you get enough water in. This week I'm going to be having somebody else go in who's just absolutely like on it with her tracker. And when I say on it, I mean she is tracking every little thing, and just her emotions, her food, everything. So she's going to go in and she's going to teach people about how she uses the tracker. So they're not just seeing me as Katie, the 2B girl. They're seeing like my tribe is like the 2B tribe. So I'm pulling people like into those things as well. Like I said before in the last slide, is you have to be a challenger with them. I did a video the other day about how I was so glad I tracked because I saw like a trend. So I was sharing with them a little bit of my experience about like, thank goodness I had my tracker. I really would have gone overboard if I didn't have it. I shared that with them, right? I shared like the hard times with them. I shared about how hard it was for me to go back from San Antonio and just like to refocus. And when I refocused, like how good it felt to be back when I hit my weight where I was before I went to San Antonio. So I'm just as much a challenger with them. Like I said, every question that people ask me, it just becomes content, right? It's just great content for them. Other ideas, right? Recipe sharing, love recipes. We call it, we talk about our sexy salad at least once a week. And we sing about it too. It's really important for me if you drop a GIF or you sing because I enjoy those things. So whatever makes it fun, whatever makes it so fun for you will be fun for them. Being like just motivation, maybe doing an exercise together. I was like, guys, they're making me sell this Lift 4 thing and I have to do it. Do you guys want to do it with me? I went into the group and I was like, anyone want to do this? Yeah, drop a GIF. Everybody was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then it wasn't there this morning. And so I don't know. I think it's there now. So I'm going to do it tomorrow. Ask them for ideas. Ask them what they want. Ask them what they could see more of, right? Like, even if it's like, do you want me to put a picture of Joel's abs in here tomorrow if everybody makes tomorrow a weight loss day? I'll do that for you. So just fun, like have so much fun with it, and it makes it so fresh and so exciting. And everyone is just like getting really curious, and they're like, oh, it's the coolest thing when they're just like nailing it, right? And when they're not nailing it, you're like, so tell me about that. Did you get curious? You getting angry? Don't get angry. Get yourself all kinds of curious. And then they're like, good idea. Like this one girl was talking about her daughter in the car seat, and she was like, I was like, don't get angry, get curious. And I was like, it's a mess. I love it. I love it so much. All right, so I'm just going to go on a little spitfire right now about tracking, because tracking matters. Tracking is where it is at. Tracking is a must. You have to like say this over and over and over and over and over again with your challengers. This is the secret to this program. This is the big thing. And there is like this significant freedom as a coach to know that you are handing people a program that isn't this might work. This could work for you. This might be a solution for you. Oh, no, honey. If you do this, there is no might work. There is no this could work. This should work. This is going to work. When you do the work, this is going to work. And so I really, really have to tell you that the key to that is the tracker. Because if you're the coach and somebody is saying, Katie, I haven't lost any weight, you can say to them, show me your tracker. And if they have nothing in that tracker, you need to say to them, okay, well, what are you doing? Like, what are you tracking? They're like, well, I really didn't use it, Katie. Well, that's the problem. And if somebody's tracker is kind of empty, or they're just scribbling a couple of things in there, it's not good enough. If you really want to help them, and if they really want to see results, they have got to track. So, and you have to be the lead example of that. You have to have your tracker. You have to get caught with your tracker, right? You have to have people see you with your tracker. It's just a must. It's not like, you know how sometimes with the 21 Day Fix, you would like eat that extra tablespoon of peanut butter-ish. It's not like that. Like you can have it with this, but you better track it, because if I see that you had a tablespoon of peanut butter before bedtime, I'll be like, gee, I wonder why this wasn't a weight loss day. Tell me about that. Let's get curious here, okay? So you got to track it. You have to remind them this. And I have been saying this on repeat, and I hope it sticks with you too. Tracking reveals your trends. Your trends reveal the truth, and the truth is what sets you free, period. Like, right? Because if you start to see the trends in your own habits, if you start to see the trends in your own eating, if you start to see it at 3 p.m. every day you go to the vending machine, that is a problem. That isn't you saying like, I crave these calories. This is you saying, I feel like I deserve this, so I'm going to drink it. And then you have to say, there's something emotional there, and we can actually work on that. We can actually figure that part of it out. Because when you start to see the trends reveal your truth. Well, why do I need the soda at 3 o'clock? Why do I need the ding dongs at 3 o'clock? Why do I need the cheese puffs? I don't know, whatever it is that you're eating at 3 o'clock or at 10 o'clock at night, right? True story. The first time I knew I needed to change was when Rachel Harvey and I were at a retreat, and I looked at her and I said, every night after I work and I sell a challenge pack or I do something that I know move my business forward, I go right to that snack cabinet. And Rachel was like, I think that that's actually an issue. And I was like, I guarantee that's why I'm not losing weight. When you start to see those things, when you start to see those trends, you're like, that's the truth. The truth is, I feel like I deserve that snack cabinet. It's my comfort. It's my, I worked hard, so I get a treat kind of thing. And that is eventually going to set you free when you can admit what it is. There is no might work. You're going to create the curiosity, which eliminates the anger of why certain diets, other things you've tried in the past don't work. When you are really, really like angry about like, I just like spent this much money on something else that didn't work. When you can say to them, well, why didn't it work? And you can prove to them why it didn't work, you eliminate their anger. You can't be angry and curious at the same time. Coach plug, just gonna plug it for a second. You know how like with the tracker, you're all like, if you track this, you will succeed. I'm gonna say the same thing about your business here. If you track your business, you will succeed. I guarantee. In fact, I'll lay money on it. If you actually tracked your business and did exactly what you were supposed to do every day, I guarantee you would move your business forward this month. Like you would legit nail it. And you would be like, oh my God, Katie told me so. I should have listened to her. And I'm going to be like, I did. I told you so. You're so welcome. You guys, it's the same thing. Tracking matters because tracking is like ownership. It's like, I am owning my results for this program. I am owning my business. And when you get excited and you're educated about it and you know why something's working, you're like, dude, I totally got this. And then when you're like, okay, I don't totally got this, you can say, all right, what do I need to change? Okay. And the last thing just about this, and I got this from Made to Crave. It is a Christian-based book. Most of it is based from the Old Testament. And I love it, especially for this, especially to talk about emotional eating. And one thing Lisa Turker says is she says, everything is permissible, yes, but not everything is beneficial. And so I often will say, and you'll see it a lot in my marketing, I'll say like, freedom from food is not a free-for-all. It does not mean that I have to eat everything in sight just because I can eat everything in sight. I can enjoy the foods I love. I'm going to savor that chocolate chip cookie or that margarita because I genuinely enjoy it, but I'm going to start learning to say no to the things that I'm kind of indifferent about. And there's a power in that. That is like legit freedom when you're like, I love this part of the program. Like I know I'm starting to learn that about myself, okay? All right, so just to, I think I have like 2 more for you guys. Your slight edge, right? So if you haven't ever read Jeff Olson's The Slight Edge, that's what I started my business with 6 years ago, and I still love the book. I actually still recommend it to challengers or coaches to start with. Here's some things you can do. Share Alana with your group. Make them fall in love with her. You are like the kind of the go-between between Alana and the program. And Alana is lovable because she wants people to win. Like you can just see it in her soul that she has found her purpose in her life. And she loves helping people do this. And I can get behind that. Like I love that her heart is so full for helping people succeed. And if something isn't working, she's going to try to figure out why it's not working. She gets really curious about that. And I love it. So I share Alana with my group. I'll share posts she did. I shared when she had that baby. I share her because I want them to see her and I want them to know I'm learning from her. You can build your trust in me because I'm getting it from her and I trust her. So they might not have access to her, but they have access to you. So that's amazing, right? So share that Facebook group, share that, and then be like, listen to what she's saying. Isn't she the cutest thing in the world? And like turn the camera back on you and be like, dude, did you hear what she just said? This is what we were talking about in the group. Put it back on her, like just put it back. Be vulnerable, right? Be real with people. When that scale moved up and you're like, that home slice should have gone down, and it didn't go down, and I'm angry at it right now. Tell your group that. Get vulnerable with them. Let them see you not as I'm the perfect coach. I don't think anyone ever saw me that way, but I'm just saying, like, in general, like, you just say to them, like, I'm not nailing it right now. I'm not getting this right now. Can you guys help me out? Your people, when they have that trust in you, like, they're going to love on you and they're going to lift you up, right? Number 3, start them as coaches. And I don't necessarily mean like sign them up as a discount coach, but get them in the coach mentality. Empower them to go live in your group. Start them reading personal development. I have people reading Made to Crave, Finish, what was the other one? Girl Wash Your Face right now. I'm getting them into the habit. Dude, we have them tracking. It's like they're going to become coaches and they're going to be like, oh yeah, I totally got this. I mean, we're not even going to have to do anything because they're already doing it, right? So you can actually just start them in these habits of what we do as coaches. Start them with it now. Introduce other products. I mailed every single one of my challenge group purchasers a beach bar. I did. I spent that time and I like wrote them out a card, and I know Megan Blinka does this too. I sent them a beach bar and I explained to them, this is a great snack to put in your purse because let's just face it, you are not going to have yourself together every day. And I say it, I sell it just like that. It's the great 3 o'clock snack if you need it. Start building your testimonial bank. A lot of times I'll just screenshot something someone says or does in the group that they're really excited about, and I have it for my IG stories. It is nothing fancy. Like I don't have time to like make it all pretty. I wish I did, but I don't. And I'll just throw it in there. And then I have like, I just do a poll with it on IG stories, and it works just fine. A referral program. Give them something if somebody is referred to you. That's really cool. And when they start to trust you, they start to refer you more, especially if they're not interested, in the coaching thing. Lots of conversations I have privately. Not everything I do is just on the group in Facebook. And for some reason, it makes a difference when you voice it over. A lot of people don't even know about that voiceover. So when I'm like, hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in the group. What's happening? And then they like tell me what's going on. And I'm like, tell me about that. So I sense that you're a little angry about it, but do you really feel like that's what's happening? And then we like get into the whole curious thing, right? And then at Entree Leadership, I don't remember who the speaker was, but they said something about don't just go the extra mile. Lots of people go the extra mile, but go the extra 2 miles. What can you do today in your group or tweak in your group or make a little bit more personal so that it's not just going the extra mile. It's like, oh yeah, she's my 2B girl. Like, oh yeah, like she was the one who helped me lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds. And it feels amazing when you help people like literally lose that weight. You kind of go like, say, what? I get to be a part of that. Like, how cool is that? It's like the best part of my job. God, I love that part of it, right? And then I'm just going to close out with a few things that I'm doing for marketing. And I'm not going to go into too many details, but these are just a couple of things that are working well for me. So Rachel's going to be talking about Story Brand tomorrow, and she's going to talk a lot about just clarity versus creativity. If you're not clear on a message that you have for people, they're going to be lost. No matter how beautiful your pictures are, no matter how creative you are, get really clear on what you're trying to say to people. And so I do say a couple of things over and over and over again. You're going to hear me say sexy salad, done with diets, ESM. If you feel deprived, you're doing it wrong. These are all things that I created, and I don't want you to like create mine or recreate mine, but like find something that like sticks with 2B. Use it as a common hashtag. You just kind of say over and over, like get clear on what your message is. For me, it's like if I feel deprived, it's a diet to me, and I'm gonna fail it, and then I'm gonna like gain all my weight back, and then I'm gonna be angry and really, really hangry. And I'm not a really nice person when I'm like really hungry. It doesn't work for me. So I say those messages to people. I send those out to people. Like, they get that. I'm clear on that. They know that Katie is done with diets. Katie is done with diets. Okay, she's done with diets. What does that mean? Okay, deprived. I feel deprived. I'm yo-yoing right now. What am I doing? I'm sitting here eating celery and I have an Oreo on the other hand. I need to reach out to Katie, right? So I'm getting clear with that message. The other thing that I do is I'm getting that. I was really focused on the launch. And so right now I'm slowly starting to go back to my online community. That is a free group. And the free group is where people who purchase the base kit go. And it's just, I have just, my goal is to set it up so it's like Monday Mindset and just a couple of other videos, which isn't as great as what they're getting in my group, but it's just something else. So there's an ongoing community, building up testimonials, starting to have those stories to share with people, not even just a side-by-side images, but even sharing like the stories of people who are already every day. And I know Angie's in my group. I see her on the call. People every day are sharing success in there. They are literally like sharing, like not just weight loss, but like our girl, like Sarah, was talking about like the impact it's already making on her daughter. Like when she's saying, don't get angry, like get curious. Why isn't your seatbelt working? It impacts people. And then have an email list, having those contacts of people who did reach out to you and just constantly like blasting it out when you have the next round open, letting them know when it's available. So I think that is all that I have for you. It was a lot of information. But I hope it was helpful. It was a lot. And there's 47 comments, and I'm not going to read through all of them, but I love you all. Does anyone have a question? I did. I think Taylor's making fun of me. Oh, she's getting kicked out of the app. Okay, cool. Did it help? Do you feel like you can like walk away with just like one little nugget that you're like, oh, I can do this. I'm going to start this tomorrow. I think that like most important thing is like just don't worry about everything else. Like don't worry about like, what are my points this month? Danielle Natoni did a post in the 5-star and above wall, and she said something to the effect of like, your challengers now are the ones that are going to like be your best challengers for good. I don't remember exact. Hey, Tyler, it's okay. Come on. You're Tyler. Your challengers or your customers now, they're going to be with you the long term. So let's just make sure we're serving them well. I know that we have Lift 4 coming out, and I know we have all these other things that are happening, and the network's always going to go. There's always going to be something. Just don't forget the people that looked at you and they're saying she could be the solution. She could help me find this solution, and take that role really, really seriously so that like you're a part of that and that you matter to that one person. Like you're going to help them do that. Not that they shouldn't own it, because they should, and you can't own whether they do it or not, but just make sure you're matching them. Make sure you're matching their effort. Okay. I think that's all I've got. Do you guys have any other questions for me?
Let's take a picture.
Why?
Because we have to document that we were all
Did you notice, Melanie? Do you see that? That's my name. It says Katie Ursa instead of Melanie Mitro now.
It does because you're using your account tonight.
I know, but I had been. I don't know.
But was it still saying?
Yes, for like ever.
All right, everybody smile. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, I'll post that in our team page. And we can all use it for an IG story, and we look cute. Okay.
Was there anything else you guys had? I'll upload these slides. I'm going to upload them into the team pages, so I'll do that for you guys as well. Just have fun. Enjoy it. I love it. I love it so much. I love my people. I don't know. It's just a lot of fun to be a coach right now. Really is.
I had a question real quick. It was just kind of so I started my free group after watching the training with Melanie Mitro with the Vimify stuff. So I'm slowly walking through it. So I have my group. It's my free group. I'm doing like meal planning on Sundays, posting a few things here and there. How do I get them more involved with actually like responding to things. Like I tried to throw a thing out there like, you know, never miss a Monday. I did my workout today, and then I said, you know, throw a GIF, you know, on there, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like they're not responding. So what do I do to kind of get them more kind of pumped up or something?
This is your free group. So free groups are kind of funny. Free groups are people who don't always take it very seriously. But the one thing that you can do is just send out a personal like welcome to them. If you want to send them a private message with a welcome, letting them know like how the group is set up. So if you always do a Monday mindset, if you always do a Tuesday motivation, if you do a giveaway of some sort, like, you know, it can be like a personal like meal plan, or I don't know what I used to do. Like sometimes it doesn't even have to cost you anything. It can be even like a 15-minute like meal planning consultation, or like some of your go-to recipes, like just in an email.
I've been doing that, like the meal planning thing, because that's what I do on my Sundays. And I'm doing that because I haven't really like pushed, you know, because again, I'm still working on me, and I just was able to start working out and doing my stuff since my accident. So I was just kind of like, free group, let's just kind of see. And then, you know, a couple of people have messaged me a few things. So I'm thinking those people are a little bit more serious about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, should I like maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks be like, hey, I'm gonna, you know, do the 2B mindset success group, like push for that. And then this kind of be like my holding group, like you had talked about.
I would use it as your holding. I would and I really actually now I wish I would have done my holding area as my free group.
Okay.
Now I have two different groups, and it's just a lot of people.
Yeah. So
I would have done it as my free.
Like my holding group, and then do that. Okay. All right. So I'll just do that and maybe have like a set date in like 3 weeks. That gives me enough time to where maybe, you know, because I'm going to do the yoga thing and then hopefully be able to push for a little bit more.
And we can talk about it separately too.
Yeah. Okay.
We can do that as well. Yeah. Cool. All right. Do you guys have any other questions? Does anyone else have any? Robin, if you're having issues, it might not be your phone. I don't know if you saw this. Chrysanthi was talking about one of her challengers having issues with the phone and the units, like turning off or something. It actually might be the storage on your phone. Yeah, it's if you don't have enough storage on your phone, it just like will shut off. Yeah. Or like you won't be able to open certain apps, or if you have too many apps that are actually open. Also, I don't have any answers now for anyone who was asking about the app because I haven't been able to log into it yet. I'm sure it will happen today. They were too busy taking challenge pack prices down, which was making me sad. It's regular price now, just so you guys know. Yeah, I screwed that up today. Cool. I know, I'm very sad too. Can you work on that? Aren't you in the cab, Melanie? Tell them we want our prices back. All right, you guys have anything else? I appreciate you guys hopping on. I hope you guys took something from the call. I will put this PDF over in the files for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I'll chat with you soon. Have a good one.